Good morning, everyone. I almost said afternoon, but it's not quite afternoon yet. So good morning. I hope we get a couple people on here. I know this is not necessarily the time that I ordinarily would come on, but I do have a closet consult today that I need to leave for. So I wanted to make sure that I got this in first. And if y'all will forgive me for just a moment, I'm going to adjust the brightness on my screen because y'all, I always turn it down at night and first thing in the morning when I'm looking at it, and then I always forget to turn it back up, and then I have a hard time seeing things because now it's brighter in the room and all that kind of good stuff, and I was having a hard time seeing. So to those of you who are joining us on the replay, thanks so much for coming in and checking us out. And for those of you who are joining us live, thank you. And make sure you say hello down in the comment stream and let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're watching. Sometimes Facebook lets me know. Sometimes they don't. It'll tell me how many people are here, but not necessarily who's here. So as you come in, make sure you say hello. So today, I want to just very quickly kind of touch on things about sharing anything that has to do with Premier, okay? Hello, Tiffany from Utah. Thanks so much for watching. Good morning, Jennifer. How are you doing? So here's what I want you to remember. There are two very key points in sharing things about the business. Good morning, Tracy. What's up, girlfriend? Glad to see ya. Miss your face. I hope you're doing well. So there are a couple of things that you want to make sure that you're doing when you are sharing things about Premier. Hello, Sonia. So last night, as an example, I had an opportunity to go to Christine Cooper's training up in New Jersey. David and I drove up there and assisted with the training. And the training that I did was actually on, it was kind of a mix between my attitude training and my joy of serving training. Hello, Laura. So I just got to kind of thinking about it, and I'm going, okay, attitude is so stinking important when it comes to what we're doing in our business, because we could be doing all the right things, but if we don't have the right attitude and the right mindset when we're doing those things, we're not going to be nearly as successful as we could be if we were in the right state of mind. So some of the things that I started thinking about, and the funny thing is, y'all know that sometimes I pull my trainings from basically our sermons at church, because I'm telling you, I can't help it. I will be sitting there listening to the sermon, and I'm going, man, this really fits our business too. This this fits in our life and in our business. And thankfully, because we are Premier Design Jewelers, we have the ability and are encouraged to pull God into our business. So here you go, right? So when it comes to sharing things about your business, there's a couple of things to keep in mind, okay? Yes, there are all the bullet points, okay? There's all the bullet points to hit and that kind of thing. But listen, they could read the pamphlet, okay? Our job is to also be able to do things and share things in a way that they couldn't just sit and read the pamphlet. Does that make sense? And yes, I understand, you know, for some, they go, well, you know what? I just read from the pamphlet because I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to, you know, skirt over anything. I don't want to forget anything. Maybe you're new and you've just been told, look, just literally read them the pamphlet, okay? And it's not to say that that is a bad way to share, but it's to say that there are some important things you might want to do before you get to that part, okay? So one of which is sharing your story. Now listen, the reason it is important for us to share our story is not so that everybody knows our business. That's not why we do it. Okay, but you share your story so that you can find something relatable, or you ask them first to share their story, and then anything that you are able to find that would be similar, that you are able to relate with them on. You now have something that connects you. You now have something that deepens that relationship between the two of you. You now have something that makes you more relatable to their situation. Okay, so perhaps there's somebody who's interested, but in the back of their mind at the same time, they're going, I can't do what she does. I can't do what she does. Well, perhaps once she learns a little bit more about your story, maybe she'll understand y'all are not that different. Okay, so don't be afraid to share your story. Now, that being said, we also want to make sure that we are not just like, having word vomit. Okay, for lack of a better word. All right, we want to make sure that we're not doing that. Good morning, Shannon. So we want to make sure that we're not doing that and not giving them an opportunity to interject, okay? Because it is not all about us, obviously, okay? But it is important to share your story because then you can connect to theirs, okay? So when you are relating to others, these are things that you should be doing, okay? So first is be attentive, okay? Don't start asking them questions, especially let's say you're in a home show setting and you start to ask, so tell me what you do. And then you start doing one of these as she's talking to you. And you find yourself kind of peeking around her, just, yeah. And just kind of peeking around and looking to see who else you can go assist or who might be needing your help. You're not going to be able to build a good relationship with that woman because she is now going to feel like you asked her a question that perhaps you didn't really want to know the answer to, and she may start just kind of trailing off of her sentence and basically just turn around and walk away. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are being attentive, that you are being involved and present in that conversation. Okay, do not ask somebody a question and then treat them as though you don't care about the answer. All right, are we getting this? If y'all are getting something out of this, make sure you give some hearts or some thumbs up or something so that I know y'all are understanding what I'm putting out there. Okay. The other is be a good listener first. Okay. So ask them, talk to them about, well, tell me a little bit about your story. Tell me a little bit about you, and allow them to share quite a bit about themselves, as much as they're willing to share, as much as they're willing to chat. And then to finally, when they decide to pause or take a break, or they feel like they've answered your question, whatever that is, to, of course, then look at your story and see how that could possibly relate to them, and then share the things that you relate to them on, okay? Another is be real. Be real. Do not put on a front and be somebody that you're not. We've all heard the fake it till you make it and this and that. And that's one thing when it comes to, dare I say, kind of putting on a show, as in doing the presentation. It's one thing when it comes to that, but when you are talking with people and you're trying to build those relationships, be real with them. Do not allow your fear and your pride to get in the way of you just being you. Be genuine. Okay, that is going to make a world of difference in terms of how people view you if you are being genuine and authentic. Okay, all right. This next one, for some, it is going to be more comfortable. For others, it may not be so much. But can I encourage you to bring God into the conversation? Listen, we are in such an amazing business. Good morning, Marie. We're in such an amazing business that as I said, gives us the opportunity to and even encourages us to have God in this business. Don't keep him out of this. So feel free to say, you know what, girl, I've been there. I felt that way as well. But you know what God has done? And then share what God has done in your life through this business. Okay, that is, those kind of things can be huge for someone. All right, and here's the thing. Some people might say, well, you know what? I don't want to turn off someone who maybe they don't have a strong faith. Y'all, don't ever be apologetic about Premier being a biblical-based company. Because here's the thing, Premier is not apologetic about it. And the last thing you want is for someone to come into the business not understanding that it is a biblical-based company, and then they come in and suddenly go, well, I didn't know there was going to be all this talk about Jesus. Okay, listen, just show them right off the bat what this is about, all right? Show them right off the bat what that is. Hello, Janet. Hello. Miss Heather, I see you popping on. Okay, so be intentional about bringing God into the conversation, even when you're sharing stuff about the business, all right? Keep in mind that their story is their story, and every single story is going to be different. Every person's story is going to be different. Again, I'm going to urge you, do not prejudge, do not make assumptions, do not try to sit back and determine at a show who is going to be interested in hearing about this business opportunity. For those of you who know my story, you know I was not interested in the business. Okay, that was not something that I had even entertained the idea of. So don't make assumptions. Don't assume that you know who might be interested. Feel free to talk to anybody and everybody who's willing to give you an opportunity to share about the business, okay? Also, keep in mind that, again, even though everyone will be different and we should never make assumptions based off of looks, whether or not they have shown interest, okay, that kind of thing. Don't make those assumptions, and understand that everyone's story will be different, but there will be commonalities among different stories. Okay, so again, that's where we have the opportunity to be able to relate to them. And understand that relating to them is going to be one of the best ways to begin building that relationship, and that relationship that you begin building with them is going to be one that is going to build their confidence in you as an upline, okay? Or you as their jeweler, or you as someone that they would feel comfortable referring their friends and family to, okay? So again, it goes back to those relationships and building those relationships, okay? Let's see here. This was one of the other things that I thought was, you know, again, just very amazing in terms of how it relates to sharing the gospel versus how it relates to sharing our business opportunity. So I'm not going to change anything about the wording as far as what I wrote down at church, just so you understand how closely these can go hand in hand, okay? First is, you don't have to have all the answers. No special training needed to share. All right. That kind of sounds familiar, right? I mean, we always tell you, don't think just because you're a new jeweler that you can't be sharing this business opportunity. You do not have to have all the answers. Okay. The second thing is, the Spirit is all you need. Listen, whether that is the Spirit of God, whether it is the spirit of sharing, whether it is the spirit of serving, whether it is the spirit of love, that's all you need when it comes to sharing this business, okay? The third thing was, look for those open doors. Okay, how often are we always hearing to be watching for those opportunities of places that we can share? Okay. To also make sure that you are sharing with love, intentionality, and courage. I would say that that very much fits us trying to share the business opportunity, right? And when you do these things, you will be amazed at the things that will start happening, because amazing things will start happening for you in your business when you do these things. All right. So one of the things that he was, talking about was, he was thinking about Billy Graham, and had just mentioned that, he doesn't feel like he would ever be able to be a Billy Graham. Okay. But again, Billy Graham did it one person at a time, and then more people at a time and more people at a time. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. Again, we have that opportunity in this business to do that. We may just sponsor one jeweler, but that one jeweler may go out and sponsor 10. And then those 10 may go out and sponsor collectively 40. And then those 40 may go out and collectively sponsor 80. Okay, so I want you to think about that. You could potentially be assisting and enriching the lives of all those people because you spoke to one, because you sponsored one. Okay, so it doesn't require, we don't have to go out and attempt to change the world. All right. But we can go out there and attempt to touch as many lives as possible and enrich as many lives as possible. So keep in mind that when we abide, relate, and invite, amazing things will happen. So that is what I have for you today. I know it's kind of short, sweet, to the point, but as I said, I have a closet consult to go to, so I would appreciate y'all's prayers because this is my first official, but she is basically, I just simply started asking people if they would allow me to practice my closet consults with, local people. And they don't even know this yet. Some of them are not even aware. But they're going to be put into a drawing to win either an It Girl bracelet or a trendy bracelet, just for helping me out. So, the lady that I'm going to see today, she doesn't even know that yet. She just, thankfully, her and I have been talking about kind of getting together and going through her closet. She had asked for my help a while back, and then when the closet consult started coming into play, I'm like, you know what? How are we doing with getting things figured out with your closet? Like, when can we get together for that? I said, because I'm doing these closet consults, and I would just love if you would be willing to be one of the people that I could practice on. And she's like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I keep putting it off and putting it off, but let's do it. So I'm meeting with her today. So I actually have to pop off here and get heading up the road. I got all my jewelry ready and got the closet consult style profile things printed out that I can take along. And so this is going to be legit. I'm going to walk up in there with my little clipboard and my paper and all that to be able to test this out. So I would certainly appreciate y'all's prayers, just that everything goes well, that she will perhaps hopefully refer me to some other people, that this might start opening up some additional doors for me locally as well. So I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for being here and watching. And I just pray that you have a blessed day. So y'all take care, and hopefully, maybe I'll see you one more time this week. Otherwise, then I look forward to seeing you sometime next week. Have a blessed day. Love y'all.